Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on, these ICE agents that were deployed to some of the airports. And that's just causing more chaos than what these airports were already experiencing. And this is just proof that America is the worst place on earth, man. Like, America is the definition of anything that can go wrong will go wrong, especially with Trump's administration. Like, everything just keeps getting worse and worse in this wicked place, man. But those of us of the hopeful elect, we love to see it, because everything that goes wrong and the more chaotic things get, it means we're closer and closer to the end of this place. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read some of this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. So it says, ICE officers deployed to some airports as TSA callouts worsen. Said ICE deploys to airports. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have been deployed at 14 airports today to help during the Department of Homeland Security shutdown. The Transportation Security Administration has faced growing call-outs from officers who have gone without pay since DHS funding lapsed in February. So basically, once again, Trump is over here screwing things up. These people are not getting paid, so they're not showing up to work, which is causing so much chaos at these airports. And then you send ICE to these airports, and what do? They start harassing people, beating up people, kidnapping people, the things that they typically do. But now they're just doing it in an airport instead of just out on the streets. And you'll still have Trump's brain dead supporters talking about how he's doing great. Yeah, he's doing great if you look at it from a perspective of he's leading America to its destruction. He's leading America to a civil war because people are getting real fed up with this nonsense. And like Elder Malcolm says, how long is it going to take for these Americans who claim that they love America so much to finally grow a pair and do something? Because this Trump administration is just destroying everything and just causing so much chaos. Slakia says growing travel woes. Travelers have been dealing with worsening airport wait times, with George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston warning flyers it could take more than 4 hours to get through. LaGuardia Airport in New York was reopened this afternoon after a fatal collision between an Air Canada plane and a fire truck. Said track wait times at major airports here. It says no end to shutdown in sight. It said there are few signs lawmakers will reach an agreement to fund DHS, which includes TSA, ahead of a scheduled holiday break. President Donald Trump last night rejected a potential off-ramp to end the shutdown, sources told CNN, as he's told Republicans to only settle if they can pass a federal elections overhaul bill. So basically, Trump wants things done his way, and unless they're going to be done exactly his way, he's basically saying, F everybody, and I've been seeing those videos all over TikTok of how crowded these airports are. Like, there's lines going out of the airport all through the parking garage and everything. Like, it's crazy. Like, people have to arrive 5-6 hours before their flight time, and they still have to wait on a line. And all because of Trump. All because of his wicked, unrighteous, ways. Everything is falling apart. The scriptures say that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And the wicked are the so-called self-proclaimed white people. They destroy everything that they touch. Everywhere that they go, they cause chaos. And America is a prime example of that. Like, look at this place. This place is literally hell. And it's because these Edomites are, quote unquote, in charge. And things are not going to get better. Things are just going to continuously get worse, and this place is going to continue to fall apart. And ultimately, good riddance to this place, man. 2 Ezra 8:50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And that's what we're seeing. Many great miseries. Gas prices are skyrocketing. Grocery prices are skyrocketing. The cost of living in general is skyrocketing. Like, it's harder for people to pay their bills. People have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to barely keep a roof over their head. And because all of these different businesses are shutting down, people are getting laid off left and right. People are struggling to survive out here. And all it's doing is creating a very angry population of people. And at some point, people are going to take to the streets, and they're not going to be protesting. They're going to be rioting. And it's not going to stop once it starts. It's really going to spiral. And we're getting to that point. Like I said, you have these ICE agents out here running rampant, just kidnapping people, beating up people, murdering people. Trump has really just let these demons loose. And he's the head demon. Like, America is falling apart from the inside out. There's about to be civil war here. There's about to be race wars. There's about to be famines. There's about to be, darkness in the form of power outages. It's about to get very chaotic. But you know what? America deserves every bit of it. Because this is a very wicked place. This is the most wicked place. Baruch 4:32. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And here in America, these cities are miserable. There's potholes everywhere because the roads are all torn up. The Lord has been unleashing storms and tempests and fires and earthquakes upon these cities. Like I said, you got people having to deal with all these ICE agents acting the way that they act. You got businesses shutting down, people losing their jobs, the cost of living going up, the cost of groceries, the cost of putting gas in your car. Everything is just skyrocketing. Everything is just falling apart. Like, it's harder and harder for people to survive. And a lot of people are very pissed off, and they're complaining on TikTok about it. And I heard that there's supposed to be another No Kings protest happening at some point. But like I said, at some point they're gonna get to the point where there's not gonna be any protests. It's gonna be just straight up rioting. because people are going to realize that all this protesting, all of this marching and chanting and all of that, that doesn't do a damn thing. That doesn't fix anything. Nobody's going to listen to you. For the longest time, myself and other people have been saying that you have to speak to Esau in the only language he understands, and that's through violence. That's the only language that white people understand, so-called white people. The only language they understand is violence. That's how they got the whole world. That's how they were able to conquer and colonize the world, was through violence. Like, you cannot sit down and be peaceful with these Edomites. It's not in their nature. Just look at what happened with Iran. Iran, a nation of brown-skinned people, were at the table having peace talks with the U.S. and Israel, who are run, both of these nations, the U.S. and Israel, are run by Edomites, so-called white men. And what happened during those peace talks? These Edomites, these so-called white men, bombed Iran during the peace talks. So when I say that Edomites don't know the definition of peace, that right there is a prime example of it. They love violence. They love war. That's why Edomites want to join the military. That's why they want to become police officers. They like violence. It's all they know. It's in their nature. You cannot change that about them. Just like a leopard can't change its spots, the so-called white man can't change his violent, hateful, racist, wicked nature. The Lord made him that way. He can't run from it. He can't hide from it. Every time he does, it always comes out. The scriptures tell us, never trust thine enemy. Because at the end of the day, even though, roughly paraphrasing, even though he go crouching and he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Because at the end of the day, Esau, he can't hide that. He's a snake. And a snake is going to do what a snake does. They may seem like they're harmless, but then when they get close enough, they strike. That's why you can never trust these devils. They never have good intentions. And there's too many examples throughout history to back that up. Anybody who has ever trusted Esau got stabbed in the back, got murdered, got conquered, got colonized, all because they trusted this devil. Esau will show up and he'll smile in your face and he'll shake your hand and he'll tell you a bunch of nice things. But as soon as you turn your back, he'll attack you. Because he's a coward. But what a lot of people don't understand, which those of us of the hopeful elect do understand, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, of course, is that all of this wickedness that Esau is doing, all of that is going to come back to bite him. Like, Esau really thinks that he's going to do all of this wickedness, hurt all of these people, cause all of this chaos and destruction, and then just ride off into the sunset, leaving everybody else to pick up the pieces. And that's not how this story is going to end. This devil is going down. The Lord is going to take him down. And then his wicked ass is going into slavery for 1,000 years. And after that 1,000 years, the whole nation of Edom, all of these so-called white people are going to get rounded up and they're going to get wiped off the face of the earth. Just like their precious America is going to get wiped off the face of the earth. So for all you sincere brothers and sisters, as chaotic and as difficult as things are about to get for everybody, considering that we are in the time of Jacob's trouble, we have to keep the mindset of all of these things are actually good, because these are signs that we're getting closer and closer to the end. Every day that passes brings us closer to the destruction of this place and the downfall of Esau. So we should not be, crying about how difficult things are getting. We should be rejoicing, because these are about to be some very beautiful times for those of us of the hopeful elect. And these about to be some horrific times for Esau and all of these other people whom the Lord is against. So ultimately it is death to this wicked place, and it's death to Esau, and it's death to all of these wicked people. But with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers, which includes the scattered Israelites who are amongst these other nations and look like these other nations. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.